Hello, hello. We are
Hi.
back. We are back. My name is Rachel Morris, and I am the executive director for the Rolesville Chamber of Commerce. And we are here for part two of our Live with the Rolesville Athletic Club. If you joined us in May, we had a really, really great discussion and actually talked about quite a few good things. But before I go into that, I always want to introduce my co host, Alan Smith with Alan Smith Realtors. Alan, it's so good to see you again.
Thank you. Good to see you too. And it actually, I know it's a different month, but it seems like we were just here doing this the other day. So
It really
good,
was.
good to see you again this soon. I appreciate y'all, and I'm proud to be a sponsor of the show. I'm a realtor. The name of my firm is Team Encompass, and I'm right here in Roseville. And thank you for letting me co-host with you. And excited about this part two of the Roseville
Yes.
Athletic Club show today. And understand we've got the president, Drew Brown, who will be leading us off again. And if y'all heard Drew last time, this is a part two series. So go back and listen to part one if you want to know more about the athletics too, because we're going to cover some different sports today. And we still want Drew to give kind of a recap, kind of kick us off. And I want to thank too Rachel for we we have some shows where I'm pushing buttons and some shows where she's pushing buttons, depending on what platform we're using. And Rachel gets to do that today, as well
Yes.
as last time, because she
Yes.
has the one that can take all the guests. So she's over there just clicking away. Rachel, if you'll go ahead and bring Drew up if you at your first opportunity. Welcome back, Drew. Thanks for coming back on the show and organizing all of your folks to be here today.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here. Thanks for having us again.
You're welcome. Give us I know we went into like an overview of the athletic club last time. At least give us a recap on that. Kick us off.
Okay. And I'll go as quickly as possible. And if anyone wants the details, you can definitely go back to the last show because we do have more people this time. So I don't want to take up as much time. But basically, the Rolesville Athletic Club are the sports boosters for Rolesville Athletic Program. Everything that the athletes get pretty much comes from fundraising and whatever gate sales or sponsorships that we get. Right now, we're in the middle of elections, which are next Monday, and then we'll roll into the new budget year, July 1. So now's a good time to, especially for these ninth grade parents that are interested in playing any type of sports at Rolesville, to get involved. We meet the first Monday of every month at 6:30. Right now, it's still virtual. Um, if you all could pop our website up, www.racnc.com, that's where you can find out all the information about how to join the Booster Club, some of the events that the Booster Club has, and the days that we have our meetings.
Cool. So I know Rachel's over there pushing buttons. I don't know if you've got that on a banner you can put up, but if not, if somebody can help us out and put that in chat, if you will, because I know we've got some folks tuning in that probably know that address too. So if you can help us out, but Drew, repeat it for us one more time too. There you go. There you go.
Rachel's on it. That's it right there. And if you go, it's all the information. There's the sponsorship tab, fundraising, merchandise, and just general information on how to be part of the Booster Club. We've got approximately 79 members, and we have over 550 student athletes. Now, some of them are duplicate because they play in multiple sports. But if we could just get one parent from each one of those student families, that would be great. And then, of course, we're open to members of the community. Anyone can be a member of the Booster Club. If you have an interest in Rolesville Athletics, you can certainly join us. Teachers, coaches, student athletes, and members of the community.
So it's being involved. I think there's a donation to the booster, and then there's being at the meetings. And is that do they get information from you about what they can do, or are they actually giving input on the different sports? How does that work?
So the way a typical meeting goes, we have your first question. It's a $10 membership fee to be a member of the Booster Club, and that is from July 1 to June 30. So, I would tell you to go ahead and join now, but I'm gonna ask you for your money again July 1st. So just go ahead and pay 20 now, or just wait till July 1st and sign up next fiscal year. But meetings typically, we go through our financial report. We talk about the minutes, of course. Then one of the big deals is the AD report. He kind of talks about what's going on in each one of the different in-season sports. I mean, he talks about all sports, but specifically focuses on the in-season sports. And then I talk about what's going on as boosters, what fundraising we're doing, what sponsorships we're seeking, what volunteer events that we have, how we can partner with the community, such as the barbecue and bands, the parades, stuff like that, how we can get involved, because, we appreciate the community support, and we want to make sure that we're visible in the community.
Got it.
Now, Drew, you mentioned talking about the community and all of those wonderful things. It's always great when we're able to go live and we're here. And I just, it's kind of entertaining for us when you see this and you talk about it, because we can filter in. We always tell people we can filter in our comments from our live streams live. And the mayor of Rolesville is watching us, and he says, "Good to see everyone." So always know that you have the support. And when you have your mayor watching you guys, so he is watching us online, and it tells us he's on Facebook watching. So absolutely, Mayor Kern, we appreciate you. And I can tell you, for those students, we don't have any on tonight, but those students that did that parade last week was absolutely excited about that. So we always appreciate the support from the town. So we're going to move on.
And we want other folks to check in too. We want to shout out everybody else too. So
I do want to just add one thing to the Mayor Kern comment. One, I appreciate him being there for the send-off of the football team to the state championship. Two, I appreciate him hosting some of our athletes Tuesday night at the board meeting to just kind of talk about Rolesville athletics. And then just being at these, it's just hugely important for us as a school to know that we've got elected official support.
Cool.
Absolutely. So we ready to move on. I'm going to pull myself off camera and work some background stuff. So okay. Alan, it's all you and Drew. So, okay. I'm going to go ahead and start pulling some people in and pop myself out. That work? We good?
Sounds good. Let's talk soccer. What do you think, Drew? Let's bring on the soccer folks here. So there's our coach, Coach Kelsey. And then we got Javier, Hannah, and Lauren. And so we were joking before the show. We butchered some names on the last show. We tried to get them right, but y'all gave us some challenges. So we're just tossing up first names on this one. But we do want to know how you pronounce your last name. So if y'all can go through, Kelsey, we'll go with you first too. Just kind of introduce yourself as the coach, and let's hear it from everybody and how they pronounce their last names and who they are.
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having us on here. We really appreciate it. I'm Kelsey Kroll. I'm the men's and women's varsity soccer coach.
Cool. Thanks for being on. All right, let's go to Javier. Javier, how do you? Yeah, you'll have to unmute over there, and then tell us how you say your last name.
It's Bojorquez.
All right. Thanks for being on today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, then we'll go over to Hannah.
Hi, I'm Hannah Ariano. I'm in 11th grade, and I'm going to be a rising senior next year. And I've been a part of the varsity soccer program since my freshman year, and I'm really excited to be on here today and get to do some work.
Yeah, thanks for being on. And then let's hear from Lauren.
Hi, I'm Lauren Huff. I'm an 11th grader. I'm going to be a senior next year. I've been on the soccer program for 3 years now, and I'm happy to be here. So thanks for having us.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Lauren. And I know he didn't specifically ask Javier, but I think he already told me he's in 11th grade too. If not, y'all correct me. Coach Kelsey, what should we know about the soccer program? And I'm guessing we're speaking to some folks. Our audience could be varied, but if folks are tuning in, maybe they've got a 7th or 8th grader and they're thinking about doing soccer at Rolesville. What's different about the program? And I want to ask you that question too, and maybe some of the students too. What should they know about Rolesville?
So the first thing that they should know about Rolesville is that, especially in our soccer program, we're looking to have some consistency. I think Hannah, Lauren, and Javier can all speak to this. They haven't had the same coach for more than 2 seasons at any of their points through their soccer careers at the high school. So consistency is the first one, and that's from all the way up the ladder pole of command and all the way down to the bottom of the totem pole. So consistency is the first thing, and then from that, it's just building on success. This year, even though it was a COVID year and all the restrictions and quarantines and regulations, both the boys and girls both finished in 4th place, which is the best for both sides of the program. And,
Wow.
that's with not having much of a preseason at all, no weight room access. So, Rolesville soccer is about to be on the map. And I prepared all my kids, and I told them all already that they know more about this program than me. This was my first season at Rolesville, so I'll let them kind of speak more on that, and I'll jump in if they need me to help them out at all.
Yeah, go ahead and bring them on. Highlight them. Maybe you've got positions. I don't know much about soccer, but you got positions and that kind of thing, right? Maybe tell us a little bit about who they are.
Okay. Hannah's, like I said, she's a junior. She kind of plays everywhere for us, center back, striker, left striker, kind of does a little bit of everything. Lauren plays center back for us, very consistent back there. And then on the boys' side, Javier played attacking center mid and striker for us.
Awesome. Cool.
So let's bring Hannah up and actually have her tell us a little bit about what it's like being a student athlete. Of course, you will be a senior next year. And of course, we've been in a COVID year, so things have always been a little challenging. So tell us a little bit about what your year has been like.
Yeah, this year was definitely quite different from many. We didn't get to play as many games just because of the COVID restrictions, and we had to wear a mask the whole time, which wasn't the best. But I think that overall, this was, despite the circumstances, we came together, and this actually ended up being one of the best seasons that Rolesville High School soccer has ever had for the women's program. And we stuck through, and we were competing against some of the big teams in the conference, and we really stepped it up this year.
Okay. Now, Lauren, hearing about this being one of the best seasons that you guys have had, what kind of is your feedback on that, looking at soccer? As Alan mentioned, I will tell you, when it comes to soccer, I have no knowledge. I can watch it, but I just know which team I'm rooting for. So what do you
And we've
think?
got one question too. If we maybe we can lead off with that. Ronnie's asking, do you play under the lights? Is that
Yes, so our JV games, they start around 4:30. So unfortunately they don't start under the lights, but our varsity team, we start under the lights and compete to win. This season has definitely been one of the best seasons we've had this school year, or for our school program. I played with Hannah since freshman year, and we've gone through different coaches and different teammates and whatnot, but the chemistry and the connection that all of our teammates have had this season through a wonderful coach and wonderful athletes that want to be out there and play has definitely helped us tremendously. And we just put it all out there on the field and hope for the best. And yeah, I think the outcome could have been better this season, but we have next season, and I think we got something great here, and we're looking forward to it for sure.
Now, Javier, what has the season looked like for you?
Yeah, I mean, this is my first year. This was my first season playing for Rolesville under Coach Kroll. I mean, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So this is my first time playing under her. I mean, it was a good experience for my first time playing high school soccer. I mean, from what I heard from the school and stuff, like she said, the consistency with managers and all this other stuff, like it's been not that good. But with her coming in, I was able to build a good bond with her, and she was able to improve the team a lot, and she has helped me improve a lot personally and as a player. And I feel like we're gonna have something big coming next season, and she's doing great at managing and helping others at becoming at their best, and And it was a tough year because like we could have done better, but like I mean everybody thinks that like Roseville's like trash, but we
Now,
tried.
mentioning that, so Coach Kelsey, I will tell you, you got a fan. So Paul Vilga, Commissioner Paul Vilga said, our soccer teams were definitely competitive and great to watch this year. How does that make you feel hearing all of the great stuff that people have to say about, especially with you, being the coach and working with the programs?
Honestly, I tell the kids this. It kind of makes me feel a little uncomfortable because I'm the type of coach that, if we win a big game, it's all on the kids. When we're successful, it's all on them because they're the ones that get to go out there and play and win the games. And then when we lose, I'm hypercritical of what could I have done differently as a coach on the training pitch or out on the actual pitch on game time. So I love all these kids. I love being at Rolesville. I made the move from Union County to Wake County last summer during the COVID summer, and Mr. Wheeler, who's the assistant principal, Miss Allred, and Miss Lassiter, they all kind of gave me a chance at Rolesville, and I've loved every experience. And as all three of these kids have stated, next year, both on the men's and women's side, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised with the success of Rolesville soccer this season for both the men's and women's. Kind of set the groundwork for both of those seasons to be successful.
Okay.
When is the soccer season? When does it start and finish?
So the boys' tryouts are August 2nd, and the girls' tryouts are, I believe, February 14th. If February 14th is a weekend, it'll be the day after that. So the boys play in the fall, and the girls play in the spring.
Okay. And then, so the girls' season is already over, though, for this year, or they're still playing?
So for COVID, they all played in the spring. The boys went first, and then the boys ended, and I had about 2 weeks before the girls' season started up.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, I do know, I will say thank you so much, Coach Kelsey. And I will say for anyone that is watching us on any of our platforms, we are live on Twitter, Facebook, and also on YouTube. So please interact with us, comment. We would definitely share your questions. For Coach Kelsey, for Lauren, Javier, and for Hannah, we do appreciate you guys coming on with us. We got a packed house. I see people trying to get in, and we have such a great lineup and a bunch of student athletes and coaches that we definitely want to put in front of you all this evening. So definitely, if there's something that we did not address or, any of that, if you have questions or comments or anything of that nature that you want to actually ask them or ask some other questions, this is Coach Kelsey's contact information if you need to get in touch with her. I always tell people first initial, last name is pretty standard. So that's her email address if you need to get in touch with her. Also, summer workout dates, Coach Kelsey. And then also looking at, you all also have a fundraiser going on too, for those that want to find out fundraiser information. So we have all of this information. We'll make sure that we have it available for people to see and have. So definitely thank you all so much. For our students, Coach Kelsey, I know you're going to stick around because we have you on some other segments. So Alan, if you want to actually, I'm going to pull myself out, but if we can go ahead, you can start keying up. I know that I'm going to bring Drew back in so you guys can talk. And then that way I can clean up some in the background. I'll go behind scenes because I got some people trying to get in.
I see that. So, all right, we got you. Pop Drew back up with me. We'll take care of it. Thanks for the soccer folks.
Hey, Coach Kelsey, I did have one question. What is the biggest difference coaching men versus coaching women soccer?
Oh, man, honestly, it's that the guys sometimes don't understand the difference between an injury and being sore. honestly, and I love those guys to death. Like, they're all my sons and younger brothers. But man, you get a girl who's walking with, trying to play with a tore ACL or a broken bone, and then I get a guy who's like, Coach, I played 2 games already this week. Like, I'm kind of sore, and I'm like, man, that's what happens when you play 3 games a week. No, kind of joking aside, I would say the biggest thing is just trying to keep guys' tempers in check. Girls are a little bit more catty. They're not going to get in your face and kind of go at it, but guys are way more likely to not take a dirty hit as well as a female will.
Gotcha. Well, I think it's awesome. Welcome to Rolesville, and I think you're definitely putting the soccer program, both of them, in the right direction. So, whatever we can do as a booster club, don't forget to reach out to us.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And encourage your parents to join the booster club.
I can do that as well.
Wait, that's not really optional, is it? If you're in the program, you join.
Exactly.
That's kind of an easy one. Like, that's an easy one to talk about.
Yeah.
So, Coach, I'm Coach Kelsey. I'm gonna have you just hang out backstage for us, and then what we'll do is, I know that we have quite a few other people that are listed, so we're actually gonna move on to. I think we have track. We're gonna move on to track. I know that we have Coach Grether in the background, kind of waiting to come up. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull him in.
Hello, everyone.
And then I'm gonna go backstage a little bit, Alan. So I'll let you and Drew drive a little bit.
As you go backstage, we had one area that might have been skipped, or maybe they're not here. Just as long as you're on top of it, I'm good. So how are you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well. How are you, Alan?
Doing good. Track is another one of those that I don't know a lot about either, but we got Drew here to help us with some questions. And we did, I did hear last time, and it's no secret, I guess, that, there's some football folks over doing some track, and it's those two are seem to be a little integrated. Maybe that's a jump off point for us. Talk a little bit about that.
So our track program, track is the great, I consider it the glue of a program. If you have an elite track program, you will be elite elsewhere. If you have guys that are jumping 6'5", you're going to have a good basketball team. If you have sprinters who are running a 10-1, you're going to have a good football team or a good baseball program. It's the health metric of an athletic program. So for our program, we embrace multi-sport athletes. I've got swimmers, wrestlers, basketball players, football players. We have had tennis, golf. We draw all these people in because we use the science of speed and explosiveness to make people faster and better athletes to then return to become champions with their new speed and athleticism.
Now, I would imagine one of the challenges is if you've got all those programs, your seasons are doubled up in some cases maybe not. We just talked about injuries. How do you manage all that?
First, it's about understanding the science of speed. That you have to understand that it's like cooking. It's like making cookies or making a cake. You have to know the recipe, and it doesn't matter who puts in the eggs. It matters that someone puts in the eggs and the right amount. And too many coaches, don't mean to put anyone on blast, but too many coaches go, if it doesn't happen in front of me, it doesn't happen. And what ends up happening is that athletes get too much of one thing or too little of another, and they don't have anyone in their life that balances it out. So as a coach, I have to sit there. First, I have to know the recipe. And then I have to sit there and listen to what are they doing in their other activities, and then personalize what they do for me to balance it out. Because you have to have the right ingredients at the right time to get the right result. So in some cases, it's telling a kid your workout is going home and sleeping. And in other cases, it's, this kid didn't have as much, so they need certain speed work, while this person needs to do some jumps, while this person may just need to go home and rest and massage and do some yoga. So it's really listening to the athlete, understanding everything in their life, and helping to be that balancer to make sure that they're getting what they need when they need it.
So Drew, this is your secret weapon over here. This way.
Yeah, well, you started him with the right question. If you get talking about him and multi-sport athletes, I mean, you teed him up. I mean, that was just perfect.
Alan, this is a 2-hour show, right?
Sure. Rachel's not around. It'll be as long as we want.
But I will say, as a former track coach, we always used to joke that track is the punishment for all of the sport. If somebody messes up in basketball, you run suicide. If you mess up in football, you run distance. I mean, you get punished for running, but then you got kids that just want to go out there and run. And those are your track athletes. And they're very pretty special athletes, and Coach Greta does a great job of making sure that he doesn't monopolize their time to the point where they can't do the other sports. And it has already shown quite a difference in our different programs in the school. So I definitely appreciate Coach Greta and his teams.
Yeah, that must be a tough balance because you still got a program. Y'all are still competing, right?
Oh, yes, sir. So
in fact, they actually Rolesville is hosting the NAC 6 Conference Championships this weekend. Tomorrow are the field events,
okay,
and on Sunday are the running events. So definitely come check us out. Thanks for putting the graphic up. And we'll be out there. It's the first time we're able to have full concessions. Wake County has allowed us to open a concession stand, so you don't have to worry if you get hungry. You can get a sandwich, some chips, something to drink. It's going to be hot, water, Gatorade. So come on out and see, all 6 of the schools in the NAC 6 perform at the best athletes in the conference.
Nice.
One of the best athletes in the state. We'll be there tomorrow.
That's very cool.
We'll put on a show. We're worth watching.
Good. Well, is that the first time that Rolesville is hosted, or is that something that rotates around?
This is the 3rd time in 4 years that we've hosted. And we are working to build our hosting facilities with our we're working to fundraise for a timing system to get the remaining bit of equipment, so that way we can be hosting 5Ks during the fall and during the summertime, and then to be hosting winter and spring track meets. So that way we are bringing people in, we're bringing people into the community that we can be connecting them to the businesses and bringing money from outside the Wake County area in. Some teams travel as far as Virginia and Wilmington to come into other events in the area. And we would like to be the center place for people to come in, have a great athletic experience, and then experience the other businesses of Rolesville.
Okay. So this event this weekend is sort of a fundraiser for you.
In a way.
Okay, cool. Are y'all doing other separate fundraising activities that help you out?
Yes, we currently have similar to a SNAP fundraiser, fund.fastrams.me. People can contribute. We are working to raise $6,000 to be able to purchase what's called a FAT timing system, a fully automatic timing system that will allow us to host things like regionals, the Wake County Championships, to be able to have a Rams Invitational in the spring that we can bring in 30, 40 teams from across the state and the multiple state area to go have a one-day to multi-day series of events. So that way we are bringing people from outside the community in and their dollars, their time, their talent over to our high school and to benefit the broader community.
Now, Coach Greta, before we do that, I pulled in the student athletes because you have 2 student athletes
Wonderful
that are on that we want to make sure we include also in this.
Please.
And so I'm going to let you, if you can introduce them, we can definitely, they can introduce themselves, but I pulled our young man up. He's like waiting and looking, so we can have them introduce themselves.
How you guys doing? My name is Kyrie Mingerham. I'm a senior at Rose High School, and I've been in the track program for 4 years now, and I'm glad to be on the show.
Welcome.
Thank you.
My name is Jaden Ramsey. Thank y'all for having me up here. And I've been in the program for 3 years, and I'm the girls' team captain.
Welcome.
Now, I do have a question for my young man. Now, Jaden, before we move you, do you run with a track club? Because I always know students will be in a school sport, but you're also in another AAU or something like that. So what club do you run with also?
I actually don't run with the club, but this summer I was thinking of going to a club named Track Explosion during the summer.
Oh, I'm very familiar with them. Mm-hmm. Now, what about you, young man?
I'm currently not running with a track club, but I'm considering probably running with like Track Explosion or Rolesville Lightning.
Wow. Now, Coach Greta, how do you have great athletes who are not running with many club programs? Because usually you find for a lot of students, they will train and run and, play sports with their school sport, but then they also are on a travel team or club team or something of that nature. And you always have an opportunity to be able to kind of, you know, keep the kids in shape and do a bunch of other things. Now, both clubs that they have mentioned, I'm familiar with both Track Explosion and Rolesville Lightning. I'm familiar with both clubs. They're great clubs. So how you must be awesome.
Oh, I do my best, but I work within I coach cross country, winter track, and spring track. So for a lot of athletes, I'm basically in contact with them year round. So I work to manage, you know, for those that wish to go have that club experience. The hard part is that the club time and the season time don't always align very well once you get into the high school ages. So that becomes a little more difficult to do. But I work for those that are willing to bring me on board for year round, I work to help manage what they do at different points of the year to make sure that they're constantly growing, improving, and keeping that family health life balance.
Okay.
So we got Alan Mitchell's tuning in again for this broadcast. He said the Junior Striders is a great club to run with. Do you know?
Yes, there are a lot of great clubs in the area, and we're very fortunate to be in the track area.
Now, he asked a question a second ago, and like I said, I don't know about track, so y'all have to tell me, is this something to do with track? Is the
That's in college.
Okay.
Steeplechase, javelin, hammer throw are all collegiate and Olympic. We have hurdles, and that's about as big as we go.
Okay.
Now, for our student athletes, I'll go with Jaden. So when you look at for a lot of our students, we've talked to them, and of course, it's been a COVID year. So what did your year look like, kind of preparing for track or staying in shape and getting things together? What did your year actually look like? What's a year and a half now?
Well, at first, it was kind of hard to, have motivation because I wasn't in the building for school, and I kind of missed out my sophomore season. And I really thought I was going to, just show everybody what I had to bring to the table, but it got cut short. So I kind of lost motivation. But then around August, I was back in the groove, and I was like, you know what? I need to start training and getting ready now so that I could be the best that I could be around this time now. So.
And now, have you met any personal goals, or did you set any personal goals or anything like that for this season?
My personal goals was to have PRs. I wanted to at least run.
Wait a minute. So PRs, a personal record?
Yeah, personal record.
I was about to break it down for I'm thinking Puerto Rico. In my head I went Puerto Rico. Oh, it's wait, no, different things. So
I wanted to beat because I didn't have a sophomore season, so the only outdoor season I had was my freshman year, and I just wanted to be able to beat all of the personal records that I had set in my freshman year.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jake. Now, Kareem, tell us about what was your season kind of preparing, getting ready for. What did that look like for you?
Well, for me, I had a late start than most of the other track athletes because I was coming off a great football season, going to the state championship. And, coming into track, it was hard trying to get back into track shape and everything. But as these weeks went on and the days went on, we got better and starting to get back into track shape, and stuff starting to look really good how it used to be before COVID came. And
so what about any goals or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I have a few goals, and because I run the 400 meters, so my goal this year is to break 50. So run a 49 in the 400 meter this year.
Is that 50 seconds for?
50 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I won't tell you. Look, Alan, I won't tell you how long it takes me to run the 400. And for those that don't know, 400 is one lap around the track, right?
Okay.
That's one lap.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, that's one lap.
That's really fast.
Look, that's what I was thinking. I didn't want to put it out there, but I'm thinking I know what my times look like, and I don't think it was in seconds that I made it around the track in a matter of seconds. So.
And did I hear? I mean, it's totally sidetracked, but did I hear a key record got broken in track in the past week or two? Is that accurate?
We've had a lot we're on the verge of breaking a couple records.
Yeah.
And one of our female high jumpers, Jocelyn Hamilton, broke the school record jumping 5 feet 5 inches last week.
Okay.
And we are riding right on the cusp. The goal is to peak at the right time.
Okay.
And we have planned our season so that way we are now priming for our championship season. So we peak at where we perform our best at the best meets.
Yeah.
Because it's not what you did in April, it's what you do on the day of the championship, which is part of the reason why we have 6 conference championships.
Now, this championship this weekend, is that the end of the season, or when is?
No,
okay.
Unfortunately, no. We got pushed by the state. States will be June 25th. So we are having to balance the other sports and the other sports seasons and college visits and all that through basically the end of June, Friday, June 25th. So we'll have regionals the 18th and then states the 25th. So we are defending regional champions, and in the past 8 years, we've had 5 top 10 finishes in the state, including 2 in the top 5. So we are looking to build on that success for this year.
Great.
Now, I will tell you, I'm not surprised. I'm actually familiar with Jocelyn. So she wasn't she like, now she's broken quite a few records even before she got to high school. So she's been one of those athletes who, well, her father, actually, I went to college with her father. So that should tell you how small the world is. But, they actually, I do know she's been training for quite a while, and they are a track family. Her mother also ran. So I'm not surprised. And especially with her being a freshman, I think that there's great things ahead for not only her, but for all of our other athletes. Rolesville has always had a great track program. I am familiar with quite a few of the students that run track, so I'm not surprised when I hear, repeated regional conference champs and things like that, or Coach Grether when I hear the name. So it's always great to finally put a face with the name and definitely be able to say I am familiar with your program. Now, any last words, Coach, before we move on to our next group? And Alan, I'll tell you, we're all off schedule tonight, but it's okay. It's okay. That's the thing. It's our schedule. So. Yeah. Any other thing, Coach, that you want to say? You can hang around backstage and stay on if you want to answer some questions at the end. We will let our student athletes go once we're done with this segment for them. But I always want to kind of check and see. And once again, Paul Vilga, one of our elected officials, his daughter, Ashley Vilga, runs cross country. She will be going on. I do know she's a scholarship kid. She's a great athlete, and I mean, just about everything that Ashley does. So Coach Grether has done a great job of keeping Rolesville on a high level, and our athletes definitely make us proud. So thank you so much, Paul. We definitely appreciate that. And we know that our students are working hard, particularly in the track program. And a lot of our other programs. So we're definitely proud of that. Any last words? We're going to bring you back. We'll keep you in so you can come back before we wrap up if you have time.
So our senior class has the opportunity to go undefeated for their 4 years. They have the opportunity to have been conference champion, freshman, sophomore. We missed the junior year, but also senior year. We have a number of state and national caliber athletes that will be performing this weekend on our track. And if you would like to see a great show of athleticism, please come out, join us Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. It will be worth the price of admission to watch these athletes perform, because they are their hard work is definitely on display. So, and for any athletes that are looking to improve, track is a great sport that you can enter in at any time, and we will meet you where you're at, and we will make you better at your other sport as well.
Now,
I just wanted to reach out to Coach Grether. 2 things. One, you said worth the price of admission. What is the admission for those that'll be coming on Saturday?
I believe it is $6 if you come on Saturday.
$6.
I believe it's $6.
Okay. And I did want to piggyback Coach Grether's fundraiser to buy a timing system is one of those fundraisers that we like, because once he gets that timing system, then he's making money. He's using that timing system to host track meets and make his own money from that. So this is a very important fundraiser, because if we get that, then we can start charging teams to come in to compete. and it just makes money for the program. So
Our
just want to
goal,
give them kudos.
our goal is to start bringing in about $25,000 to $30,000 a year through the events that we host and bring in sponsorships. So we're asking $6,000 now to be able to pay for uniforms and equipment and to grow our equipment for our athletes. We hope we have about 85 student athletes a season. So we're one of the largest programs, and we are looking to continue to grow that. But the funds that we need to do that, we need to bring in money. So the $6,000 we're asking now is so that way we can do events that will serve the community and bring in $20,000 to $30,000 a year. That will help the Booster Club and the other programs as well.
And are you just starting that? Is it going from zero, or where are you at?
We're currently between the fundraiser and some check donations. We're at about 2,500 towards our 6,000.
Okay, good.
Awesome.
So we're almost halfway there.
Awesome.
That's great. Well, Jayden and Kareem, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to meet you guys. I always tell the students, if you're on Twitter, you can share this on Twitter. It always looks great for anything you do when you look at that next level, if that's kind of the plan for you. And we always appreciate when our coaches bring their student athletes on, because we love to hear from you, because it's important to hear the student's voice and all of this. And, it's always, and I always tell kids, I know you're going to say something great while you're on here. So I do appreciate that. And thank you all so much for joining us. So Alan, are we ready to move on? I think we're going to bring Coach Kelsey back, because we're actually going to move on to women's basketball.
Okay, great.
And when we actually move on to women's basketball, we'll bring Coach Kelsey back. She is actually filling in. I love this. She is filling in on our coaching staff to help us out. So she will actually be able to talk about the program. And we have 2 student athletes who are also here as part of that program. And, for me, I know these students, so it's always a plus to have them on here. And so I'm going to, Coach Kelsey, if you want to introduce them, you definitely can. I've known them for such a long time. So, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, so yeah, like it's been said, I'm filling in. The head women's coach is actually Coach Ben Daniels. He had a prior obligation, so he couldn't be here. And the women's JV coach is Coach Nikita Warren. And then I'm just one of the varsity assistant coaches with the girls basketball team. And I'll let the girls go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Skylar. I've played with the team for 2 years, and I've been on JV, and I was the captain of JV last year.
Hi, my name is Destiny. I've had the pleasure of playing on the varsity team for the last 2 years. And I'm very excited to be here today.
And Destiny, was that your little brother I heard in the background? Look, I already know.
I already came in here. I locked my door. I did whatever I could to keep my brothers out, and they still found a way to get in. So,
hi, sweetie. Look, I don't see you. Look, I can tell, but hi to you too.
Hi.
We love it. Look, I knew the voice. I was like, that has to be the little brother in the background. Now, I do know, so Skylar, I know for you, now I will tell you guys, I've known Skylar for quite a time. I actually coached her when she was younger, and she was a soccer player when I coached her, and I converted her from soccer to basketball. So one of the things that I'll say, this definitely has been a COVID year for you. Is that your mom or dad in the background?
That's her dad. I can hear her.
Look, I'm like in the background. So tell us what your year has looked like. I do know, of course, it was a basketball year for you guys, and it was a little tough, like many other sports playing basketball with the mask on and things like that. So what kind of did your year look like for you as an athlete?
Well, I think it was actually easier than it was when it's in school, because you get more time to just focus on basketball, and you can kind of spread it out and make sure you have your studies right with your basketball.
Well, I do know I had some students who were telling me, Miss Rachel, I feel like a professional, because, they felt like they could train all day and, kind of live their best life and, go outside whenever they wanted and things like that. So was that what it was like for you?
Yeah, most definitely. It was fun.
Now, I do know. So for Destiny, I do know you suffered an injury this year that took you out of play for quite a while. So what has the year looked like for you? And then kind of the road to recovery. What has that been like for you?
So I got hurt at I think it was the 5th game of the season. Although we didn't play a lot of games, it was really early in the season for me. But I still was at every game, supporting my team and cheering them on. And then I was still outside doing what I could, whether that just be like form shooting, anything I could do without jumping because I tore a ligament in my knee. I came back very quickly, quicker than anybody expected I would, quicker than even I expected I would. And I was doing amazing. And then about 2 weeks ago, it's funny because since January, since like the beginning of the season, I had been playing through something that I thought was like shin splints. But about 2 weeks ago, I found out that I had been playing through a broken bone. So I'm out again. But it's been although it's been very frustrating, it kind of gives me a second to kind of sit back and watch, I guess you could say. And it just lets me like learn about a lot of different aspects, different things that I wouldn't see while I was actually playing in the game. So although it has been a loss, it's still been a gain in some different ways.
Now, Coach Kelsey, I know you mentioned earlier something about the difference between our student athletes in the male and the females, and that just made me think of that. And so I do know for our actual basketball program, we do have, these are new coaches, correct?
Yes, they're new coaches to Rolesville basketball, but not new coaches to basketball. Between the two of them, they've got 27 years of coaching experience. Most recently, Coach Ben Daniels was the head women's basketball coach at Leesville Road. He won quite a few conference championships there with that group. He took time off because he had some children with his wife, and then he just essentially missed the game too much and missed coaching, and he loves these girls at Rolesville. He's excited about this basketball program, and so is Coach Warren and myself, and we're very excited. And these are just two of the great, outstanding people they have. But I will say, Destiny and Skylar have been at every workout we've had. Destiny was there with a broken bone and not even knowing, going 110 miles an hour, shooting threes, stroking them like nobody's business. So I know Coach Daniels, myself, and Coach Warren are all very excited about this women's basketball season.
So how does your season look coming up? As you guys are preparing and there's workouts and things like that going on, what does your season look like that's coming up? I know we have JV and varsity teams. So that's always a plus because this COVID year, quite a few teams did not have enough players to have a JV team, and Rolesville had enough for both. So what does the upcoming season look like? How many seniors did you have this year?
And I got to ask always, when's the season?
So basketball season starts in October. That's when tryouts are. But just like all the other sports, they're preseason. They'll have some preseason workouts over the summer. Then there's some state-sanctioned dead periods in the month of July. And then girls basketball really start cracking it out in August when we come back to school. But their tryouts are October. So their season's October. They play in that winter period, October to February. And as far as seniors graduated, Destiny may know better than me, but I think it was three or four seniors that graduated this year. Yeah, I think that was the right number. I'm trying to count them in my head. I had to leave the basketball season early, unfortunately, because soccer season was started because they fit all the sports into the spring season. It almost felt like.
Yeah, I do know Kashar because Kashar is one of the students. Of course, I'm familiar with some of the students. She is actually one of my students too. So I definitely know that she is a graduating senior and actually did receive a scholarship too to go on and play at the next level. And so that's always the plus too of what we look at for our students is as we go to say what's next for us. And for those girls that know me, I did play college basketball. That's how I ended up in North Carolina. That's why I have a passion for it. I wish sometimes when we look at kind of our female sports, it's always good to see more support for our female sports. When I look at kind of the COVID year and some of the other things that happen. And I always talk about the Rolesville program and how much support we have for all of our sports and not just one particular sport. So that's always a plus for me. Now, Alan, you got any questions over there?
No, I mean, you got this one covered since
I
you played
do.
this
Look, he
sport.
already
So
do. Like I could ask
I'm good.
about basketball. Look, but I won't try to monopolize. So I'll ask Skylar and ask Destiny. Is there anything that you want to share with people, particularly for any of those young female athletes who are considering, especially because I know a lot of girls did not play because of COVID. So is there anything that you want to share with those athletes as they're looking at participating in your workouts or even trying out for the next season? Is there anything you want to share with them, like tips or anything like that?
I'm going to most definitely say that Coach Daniels did scare me at first because he mentioned that he was a soccer player, a coach, which means he runs us. But I promise it is not hard as you think it is because it's pretty easy. And and you shouldn't be scared to come play and workouts because they are really fun. You just make sure we all get along and he makes them fun.
I mean, every coach loves to run people. So, I mean, I can't even, I will tell you, Coach Kelsey, Skylar, actually, the way I found out Skylar had asthma as a kid was because I was infamous for saying, get on the line and get on the baseline. And whenever they made me mad, I would make them run. And they weren't expecting that at that age. And I remember her mom looked at me and said, should I have bought her pump? I didn't know it was going to be like this. So I will tell you, every coach will make you run. It doesn't matter what sport you play, they will make you run.
I actually have a quick story about that. I played high school basketball with she's in the WNBA now. Her name's Stephanie Watts. She played at Carolina. And we were playing basketball, and we were doing it's called a Kentucky shooting drill, where two people are shooting, one's doing layup in the middle, and Stephanie was 5'11", bony, and she accidentally clocked a girl in the face and split her open. So she's bleeding on the floor. So the players stopped the drill. I was a player at the time. We stopped because there's blood on the floor. Our coach got so mad at us, he screamed at us to go get on the line, that you never stopped during a drill, and then he's like, where's so-and-so, the girl who got her face split? And we were like, Coach, she's in the bathroom. Like, she got her face split open. She had to go get 6 stitches. But we had to stop the drill because we stopped to see the pile of blood on the floor. So, yes, all coaches want to make you run, no matter what.
Yes. And what about you, Destiny?
There we go. I encourage anybody and everybody to come and try, just start out to workouts. I will say that these past couple of years, there's been a lot of girls that have never played basketball before or don't really have a lot of clientele on how to play. And the coaches, not just only the coaches, but some of the players like me and Skylar, we'll make sure that we help you guys out as much as we can. Because we really want as many people being active as possible. I will say, I'm someone that loves basketball, and I love seeing other people get into it, especially other girls, because, when I get older, I want to be a coach. So me being able to help anybody out that wants to play or wants to learn how to play, it means a lot. So come out. Don't be afraid of being made fun of or anything for not knowing how to do it or play or being afraid to ask questions or anything. But I promise you, it's really fun. The coaches are really cool. The players are really cool. So I definitely highly encourage. And it's not that it's not too hard to play with a mask once you get used to it. If we have to keep going with the mask, it's not too hard to get used to it.
Well, it was hard for me cheering in a mask. So, it was, I will tell you, I struggled cheering with my mask on and would pull it down. So, Coach Kelsey, I will see you throughout the season. My daughter played with them. She played with both Skylar and Destiny, but she's not here in Rolesville, but we will definitely see you guys. Stop it, Drew. We'll see you guys throughout the season. But, I always tell people my heart is always in Rolesville. And just in case her coach is watching, I love our program too. So, no shade, any shape, form, or fashion, no shade whatsoever. Now, anything you guys want to leave us with, any questions, Drew? We're going to bring Coach Greta back up and, just start asking some questions and just kind of letting some things go. And I will say, Skylar, I don't know where your dad is, but I know he's letting me know Madison is welcome at Rolesville, and I do appreciate that she is welcomed at Rolesville. I know you guys will gladly take her with a lot of love and appreciation. So, Coach Greta, I'll bring you in too, so you can talk with us.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing because Coach Kelsey mentioned all the experience that the coaches have with basketball. I did want to reinforce that Coach Daniel, although he coached last basketball at Leesville, he's been coaching at Rolesville for the past few years, be it soccer or I forgot what else, maybe it was just soccer. But so he's
coached everything. He's coached tennis, golf, soccer, anything they've asked him to do, Coach Daniels has done.
Yeah, so Coach Daniels is a friend of the program, and people know him. It's just that now he's got the opportunity as the varsity women's coach. Yeah. And again, I definitely want to thank them and Skylar for coming on. They really didn't have a choice once I contacted their parents. They knew that they were going to be here, and they really embraced it. So thank you very much. One thing I did notice, the kids know virtual communication etiquette. When they get off, they mute. We just keep ours on. The kids are muted. They're used to it. They've been doing this for a year now. But we just keep our mics on even when we're not talking.
I'm surprised they knew how to unmute their microphones.
Listen, I will say for the students that are on, it's I always tell people I love to see people that are student athletes and they are leaders on the court, but also leaders off the court. And I can definitely say that about both young ladies who are on here today. And definitely strong family foundations. Destiny actually is my neighbor. So she is my neighbor. So I know when she's out and about. So I can definitely say when I saw the names that would be participating today is always a plus. And Coach Greta, I do know you have a crossover of some student athletes that run track and also play basketball. And I always tell people track is like the gateway sport for pretty much everything. And we love track for those students to be explosive. Now, one of the things I will ask Coach Greta, particularly for some female athletes, when you look at trying to get ready for a sport like basketball, for those girls who have trouble, you have basketball, we all different sizes in basketball, all shape sizes, we all of that. For those kids who have trouble keeping up with some of those lighter people who are just quick on their feet like Destiny, who could just run all day and night, right? She could just run. What are some drills or things that you could recommend for those athletes to kind of get them in shape and ready for a sport like basketball?
Oh, so you're asking for the secret sauce. Oh, we're just going right away. You're asking for the...
Is that a secret sauce question?
No. So it's hard for there to be a one size fits all kind of statement, because at the end of the day, all training needs to be personalized, and you need to start where the athlete is. But at the end of the day, you got to train fast to be fast. That is the backbone. That's the backbone of our program. So whether it's our 2-milers or our shot putters or our sprinters or our high jumpers, everybody sprints in our program. The human body for females reaches top speed at about 15 to 20 meters. Anything after that, it's about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. So anything after 2 seconds is speed endurance. So it's about having those short 2 to 3 second explosions and about a minute or two rest. A lot of people don't realize it's the rest that brings improvement. So many coaches, they grind because they think they will work you into shape. It is actually the rest and knowing the right rest from each workout that creates the improvement. So it actually, I gotta be honest, it kills me when I hear run for punishment, because what you're doing is you're setting your athletes up for failure, because you don't know the amount of rest time that they're going to need from that workout, from that you just did as punishment. You may have just ruined tomorrow's practice.
Well,
in
I will
punishing
tell you,
kids.
I did it for attitudes. I mean, that's one thing
I'm-
about coaching females.
I'm just telling you the sports physiology.
Look, those female attitudes, boys, sometimes you just got it. You said, you know what? Don't worry about it. Just get on the line. That's like the best thing to do. Now, Skylar and Destiny, anything, and we do want to thank Coach Kelsey for joining us. She did have another engagement. Now, we won't keep you guys on. We'll linger around and talk a little bit longer. But is there anything else that you wanted to say or leave us with?
I do want to say that I know nothing's like fully set in stone yet, but I do know that we're gonna do some fundraising because when we go to other schools, well, at least like this year and a little bit of last year when we went to other schools, the game like basketballs that the other schools have, we only have 2. So I know we're gonna do some fundraising to get some new basketballs and also some new jerseys. Because we've had the same jerseys we got 1 new jersey set, but we also want to try to get some other new ones. And then also probably down later in the road, we're going to try to fundraise for a scoring table. But like I said, I have no clue what kind of fundraising we're going to quite do yet, but it's just putting it out there.
Okay. I know Drew will keep us updated on that. What about you, Skylar?
Well, she took everything I was going to say. It's basically we will be trying to do more fundraisers than we have done in the past.
Well, ladies,
And
I
we're
thank
gonna
you
make
so
sure
much for
everybody's
joining
working.
us. I really do. It's really great to see you guys. It's been a long year. It's going to be exciting to see you guys out next year. And I definitely will put it on my schedule to make sure I come out and support. So you guys are great. We're going to go ahead and move you backstage so you guys can go ahead and continue on with your evening. And we'll talk some more with Coach Grether and Drew and Alan and myself. And, as it's 7:03, but hey, it's we always make it work. Look, we make it work. So we'll just kind of go over a couple of things, any last minute things, as we wrap up for this segment. We did part 2 because we had such a great time and a lot of info. When we actually did part 1. So Drew was at the end and we had Coach Gross. Was it Gross? The baseball coach. Was it
Coach Gross? Yeah, Coach Gross.
Coach Gross. He was on and it was like, do a part 2. Okay, so here's your part 2 for any other programs. And I will say to the athletic club or to any other clubs or anything that are there, definitely for some of our other boosters and things like that, if you want to come on, just reach out to us. We will bring you on. It's not exclusive to just athletics. I know, Alan, we love meeting new people, and Principal Lassiter actually reached out to us and emailed us last time about this segment. But I'll turn it over to you, Drew, and then Coach Grether's still on. You can kind of let us know any last minute words or any other updates you want us to know.
Awesome. Thank you. So, yeah, I do have a few things. We have, as we wrap up this school year, baseball playoffs will be starting up within the next week or so, and I think our team is positioned well to do well in conference. So there'll be more information about that. Follow us on social media or follow our baseball program. They'll definitely send that information. We also, I already mentioned the conference meet, but in August, we're having our second annual, what we call our Ram Jam, which is the football jamboree. And that will be August the 13th. And we'll have 7 other schools coming to Rolesville to do a football jamboree. So there'll be more information on that. I did want to piggyback on what the young lady said, what Skylar and Destiny said. A scoring table is probably one of the most important things that we need as a school right now. When you go to any other school in our conference, they have a scoring table. And what a scoring table is, for those who don't know, it's the digital revolving table that shows sponsors, but it also shows who scored, what the score is, blah, blah, blah. We have 3 sports that participate in regular. That's men's basketball, women's basketball, and wrestling. And we're going to do a partnership, have those 3 teams fundraise for this scoreboard. The good thing about the scoreboard is like the timing system with Coach Grether. if you get this, this can make money for you because you can rotate sponsors on that digital scoreboard. So if someone is interested in being a part of that, please get in touch with me. My email address is racboosterpresident@gmail. I'm assuming Rachel's going to type that up there in the bottom for me so everybody can see it. But the scoreboard costs anywhere between $20 and $50. And so we're looking to, that is a big need for our indoor sports programs. And it's also something that we can use for graduations, for freshman orientation. I mean, there are a lot of different ways that we can use that. So that is a big ask of what we're doing for our indoor sports.
And to piggyback off that, for any businesses that are in the community that are listening, it's a great opportunity for to get your brand out there to the local community, whereas our sports programs continue to improve and draw bigger crowds, that you have local people coming in that will see your brand, that will see your opportunity. So it's a great way of helping us and helping you to create that community partnership.
Yeah. But I was just thrilled to have the student athletes. I love when they come on. It gives you a different perspective. I mean, they've been here, they've been through the program. Rolesville's still relatively young to people that are just moving there. We've been there about 7 years. So it's just awesome to see the energy that coaches are bringing and that the student athletes have for Rolesville High School.
Now, Drew, I have your email address up, but I also want to show the website too, so that if people are interested in joining Booster, that they know that there's an option for them if that's something that they want to do. I always tell people, joining the Booster Club is affordable. There are always ways that you can help, and we want to make sure that when we're trying to help our community and do some things that will make it easy for us to support the students and actually be able. And I'm hoping that at some point that when I'm sharing some things on my screen, that you're actually able to see the website itself. So I wanted to make sure people can see this. This is the address that we had up, the RACNC Booster Club. So when you do come here, you come to the website and they tell you when they have the next meeting. Also, you can see upcoming events. It's always great to see details for the fall that are on there. And then also, if you want to know about membership, they have membership, merchandise, sponsorships, and also Sports Pass in their fundraising. So a lot of information that you want, you can just go to the Booster site and they definitely will have it available for you. And then also, if you want to connect with Drew, you can do that too. So always want to make sure people know how to reach you and get in contact with you. And Coach Grather, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Alan and I, when we do this, we always talk ahead of time when we come on before the segment, and we kind of say, hey, you do this, I do that, you do this, I do that. And you guys get a detailed run of show, so we kind of know what we're doing as a group. So, and I see your little one too in the background.
Yes,
that was
one of four.
That was like the infamous scene, when the kid comes in and be like, oh, and they get drugged out the room.
Yes, we have learned that work-life balance
yes.
with teaching from home for a good chunk of this year. So
yes, I think quite a few of us have. I will tell you that one of the things for me, I did make the statement to one of the teachers, I just said, just tell me what I need to do, because I do know it was a challenging year. And so it was challenging for teachers, administrators, and for parents. So I will say I'm definitely proud of all of our Rolesville administrators, faculty, and staff for this year, because our students, as they've been back in school, you can see the difference in them. So I'm definitely excited about that. Alan, you have anything before we wrap up?
No, just thank you again, to be able to do 2 of these too. So appreciate everybody coordinating this too, because I know, Drew, you probably made a lot of phone calls. I know Rachel's organizing all the run of show and everything, and all the coaches that had your students on too. So thanks for everybody for organizing. I just logged in. I didn't really have to do much.
Well, thank you both for creating this platform for us, because we want to be able to become better connected. There's so many great things happening at Rolesville, and there are wonderful students. There are great programs, amazing clubs that when people ask why I'm so positive, it's because of what I see every day. It's the kids I get to work with every day. It's the other staff members and the passion that I see that they put in every single day. And if they could see what I see, then they would have the same pride I have in the school, in the community, and in the program. So I encourage people, find ways to get involved, find ways to come out and to see for yourself the great things that are happening across the board. And I think you'll share in the same pride that we have.
Well, and as we wrap up with that, I always tell people, if you definitely want more information about the Rolesville Chamber of Commerce, you can always visit us on our website at rosevillechamber.org. And then I will also tell people, if you are new to Rolesville this year, we are doing something. So for all of our new residents, this kicks off, I think, next week. For all of our new residents to Rolesville, and we had our COVID year too. So we're kind of working on that. But we're actually going to be providing them with information about Rolesville. They'll get kind of a welcome package. So if any, I know that I've talked to Principal Lassiter and she's aware of this. They will be providing us some information. So I'll say to our programs the exact same thing for you. Anything you want to provide us, Drew, about Booster Club that can go into those packages to let people know in advance, we definitely can do that. So thank you all so much for joining us online. We will definitely be back next month. Follow us on our social media for more information. Thank you so much. For my other people who can stick on, we'll go ahead in our broadcast, but we'll hang backstage for a little bit. Take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.